Okay. Uh, Hello everyone. So I hope that my voice is audible. So let me know if you cannot hear, and let us get started. So before we start, any questions till the last session that we had? So where we discussed about the taxonomy, the propositions, business issue, business group, all these things.
Sir, I have a small question.
Okay.
Sir, I just wanted to know that what is the relationship between the context and the business taxonomy?
See, context is a separate thing. Business taxonomy is a separate thing. Context contains the audience information, that is a primary audience, secondary audience, and the associated data. This information will be present in context dictionary. So both are separate topics.
Okay.
Okay.
And context will be like few of the context will be created from the wizards, and few like we can newly add some few context as well. And business in business taxonomy also, like business group, business issues, they can be manually created, and from the wizard also they can be created.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So let us recap what we have learned in the last session. Then we can proceed with the today's session. So in the last session, we have seen the business taxonomy, which contains the business issue, that is nothing but the purpose of the promotion, and under the issue you will have business groups, which are nothing but the category of the promotions, and under the business groups you have the propositions, which is uh, nothing but anything that you propose to the customer. Like I told, it can be a discount, a product, a service, anything that you propose to the customer, which means anything that you expect some response from the customer, either a positive response or negative response. Anything that you propose, it's a proposition. We have also seen the attributes, that is the characteristics of the propositions. So in the attributes, we have seen two tabs. One is a generated form, which is nothing but in the form tab. Okay, in the form tab, you add the attributes. Then the second thing that we have seen is the custom form, where in the custom form, you will click on customize form, which will create a section with group name to add advanced controls. Okay, so then we have also seen the importing and exporting of propositions, and we know the fields where the propositions are present, that is the py issue. This is nothing but what, this is py group. And can anyone tell for proposition what is the property?
PY name.
Your name.
Py name. Yeah. So these are the fields where the main properties are there. We also have is proposition active, which is nothing but whether it is enabled or disabled, or time period. So time period means you can make a proposition to be active only during certain time period. Within the proposition only you have that option, like it should be active only from today till tomorrow, like only for 2 days. So something like a time based discount or time based thing. So that is what is. Okay, so we have seen all these things, and we have seen how to do it. Okay, now let us proceed with the yeah, we have also seen the SR class, right, which is nothing but the strategy result class. So like I told you, in Pega also you have the pattern inheritance concept. So while creating the attributes based on your based on Your need you can create at SR level or at issue level or group level. Okay, so your structure will be application ID dash SR dash business issue dash business group. So this SR class is automatically created when you created the first business issue. Then automatically it will be created. Now, as you create the business issues and business groups, these classes will keep on getting created. And all the rules that you create, like the decision data, which stores the propositions, the attributes, all these things will be present under this SR class only, which is the strategy result class. Now it will be the same inheritance. Like if you want to use in all the issues and all the groups, you create it here. Otherwise, you will create it issue level, group level, like that you will be doing. Okay. So this also we have seen, and we have seen like where it is connected to. Okay. Yeah. So just to
U-
go through. Sorry.
Usually, it will be based upon the group or the issue in general. I mean,
Which
real
one?
time, the
Use.
property creation. Uh,
That's what it depends, right? So sometimes you are creating some group, some property
I mean,
related to that group only,
okay,
right? For
but
example,
in real time, generally, I mean, most of
in
the
real
projects,
time,
how it.
mostly you will keep at group level most of the time.
Okay,
Okay. Unless, for example, if you take customer ID, so we know customer ID is obviously it is used in all the issues and all the groups. So that kind of property you will keep it at SR level. But most of the properties they will be at group level. Okay.
okay, and the characteristics of proposition, right? So, is it same as eligibility criteria to provide a promotion?
No, that is a different thing. Different things. Yeah.
Okay, this one is to particular to a proposition. I mean, whether to offer this
So this
particular.
is for yeah, this is for offer that is for a customer. Whether customer is satisfying that or not. And this is whether offer is satisfying what conditions. Okay,
Okay,
both are different. Okay.
okay.
SR class
Okay.
is like a work class in where we define case types in Pega.
Sorry.
SR class is like a work class where we define case types in Pega.
Same like that. Same like that. So similar to work class, but for decisioning we have SR class. Same like in
Okay.
work class, you will have case type classes. Under that, you will have child cases. Same
Right.
way, here also you have business issue classes. Under that, you will have business group class, like that, like that. Same like that. Okay, yeah, but the structure, everything will be same like that. Only inheritance, everything will be same like that. Okay, yeah,
Can we
okay.
say that that SR class is similar to the framework class that we have in Pega PRPC, or is it totally different concept?
Different, because
Okay.
framework you can use in multiple applications, but uh, you cannot use this in other applications. This is specific to this application only. Okay, but like I told you, framework will also have the uh, inheritance, and it will have the structure also same like that. But I mean to say this is like a pattern inheritance. It will follow the same pattern inheritance like your work class, how you will have work class and implementation classes, how you have that, right? Same like that only, just it's different with the SR, that's it.
Okay. So, is there
Yeah.
any scope for direct inheritance in in
Same. It will work. Same concept.
so
First
that
pattern
we'll
inheritance
learn
will
later.
take precedence, and whatever the class that you specify inside this, yeah, direct inheritance will take precedence then.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
What is
same.
SR stands for? Any abbreviation
Yeah,
for
here
SR?
I kept here I kept it.
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Strategy result.
Sir, sir, I have
Yeah.
two doubts. One, sir, yesterday we have seen in case of multiple propositions, a business will download the template and they will prepare that and they will import it.
Mm.
Now,
Right.
just being uploading the proposition is not going to be enough to communicate to the customer. So the actions
Mhm.
also has to be created. Now, how
Mm.
does the actions also have the supportive of Excel, sir, or actions does not have it?
Yes, yes,
If it
we
does,
have, we have. Actions
we
also we
have
have.
it.
Yeah.
Okay. And from the proposition, creating a proposition, any configurations or any add-on properties for that particular offer that can only be done from the proposition, not from the action. Is my understanding correct, sir?
Uh, Correct, correct. Action will have some additional settings will have in action very related to marketing. But proposition will not have any additional setting related to marketing. So there are some additional configurations are there for action, which is not there in proposition. But you can also have same properties in both action and proposition. Okay. Yeah.
So
So
if I
the
want to add
properties.
for some,
Mhm.
yeah, if I am adding some car loan, so car loan offer is having some specific property to be, I mean some specific attribute. So I have to add a property in the tab for data decision and then add it into the proposition. So this cannot be done from the actions and this can only be done from proposition.
The property, right, that you are telling.
Yes, yes,
Mhm.
from the data decision data.
Uh, okay, no, see, you can do it like I told, right, both are same. So even if you do it from the pega, what you say, from the proposition also, that there also you can do, and in action also you can do. But in action there is some separate configuration that you need to do again. Okay. So
Okay,
you
sir.
can use the same properties which you added to the proposition, but if you want to see the same properties in action, then you need to do some additional customization. But it is also possible. Whatever is there in proposition, you can add the same in action also. Okay, the same thing will be displayed in action also by doing some custom settings, which I will show you. Okay, it's
But
nothing like
usually,
you should
which
add properties only. Huh?
so but usually in real time, which pattern they will follow? They will use it in the
That's
proposition
what
or
depends. It depends. In real time, you will keep fields in both actions and propositions in both the places. There will be custom attributes in actions and also in propositions. Okay.
okay.
Yeah. Something related to marketing. If you have, then you will keep in action also. We'll see how to do that. Also, we'll see it. Okay. Okay. So now let us get into the next steps.
And Ravi,
So
today
this
you
is where
said,
you see actions and
Ravi, you said quickly you'll show to create the proposition in the SR class.
uh, what is that? I didn't get it. Can you bit loud?
Creating the proposition in the SR class. Yesterday we have done at a specific group level, so today you said you'll quickly create one in the SR class
Yeah,
form.
we'll do it at the end of the session. Okay.
Sure, sure.
Okay. So now, depending on this, depending on the changes that we have done, and depending on the understanding that we have, let us go ahead with a simple strategy, which we will see today, covering some basic shapes. Okay, covering some basic shapes. Along with that, we will understand some additional terminology. So I'm going to the same thing: decisioning, decisions, proposition management. So I will just
Yeah,
add
Abhi,
some.
one small question. As this is cloud edition, whatever we have done yesterday, those and all will be saved, will not be, right?
Right, right. It will not be there. So you
Yeah,
can use
even
it. See,
Yeah,
you can
tell me.
actually work on this existing propositions and existing groups which are there, or
Yeah,
you need to
okay.
take a backup. You need to take a backup
Yeah,
if you are,
yeah, and same for this application created, whatever, that one also will not, right?
right, right. Application you need to take backup.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to the credit cards group now. Something wrong. Okay, so now what we will do, I will add some extra property here. Okay, so I have, I'll just check out. Okay, so here let us add some fields. I'll just add some two fields. Okay, average price, that is one field which I am creating. Okay, I'm creating a field that is called average price. So I'll also add one more field. Let us say that is called uh, monthly EMI. So like I told you yesterday, even if you are creating a property inside the section, make sure the property that you create is added in the form tab. Okay, so that is important because then otherwise the property will not be picked up. Okay, so you need to make sure the property that you are creating inside section should be added here also. Okay, so I have created two properties. Now let us go ahead and let us create some one more two more propositions here. So I'm just creating two more propositions. Call this
Ravi,
master.
I have a small
Yeah,
doubt.
yeah, tell me.
When to use artifacts toolset and when to use rules toolset while saving the rules.
You have to keep in rules set.
Then what is the use of
Everything.
artifact toolset?
Yeah, we discussed, right? Artifacts set. You can refer to the last session. Okay. So what do we generally
Okay, Ravi.
store in the artifacts set? Yeah, we already discussed.
Yeah, Ravi and everyone, one small request, like when we start a topic, right, let's first have the topic finished, then we can have a Q&A. Otherwise, like we are losing the momentum of the, and
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, we
So
are
there is
we are,
one
we
more
are
question.
discussing the same thing, right? So you mean to say with the questions or what is it?
no, no, actually, like maybe in between, like we are getting questions, right? Like maybe you started one topic.
Hmm.
Once what topic is finished, maybe just we can have a quick Q&A. But in between, like we are going through some questions, right? I understand, like we
Right,
have
right.
curiosity, but in the interest of
Sure,
wider audience.
sure. Sure, we'll do one thing. Whatever is related to the topic, you can ask the questions related to this only. If any questions related to previous topics, we'll discuss at the last. Okay, we'll give like 5 to 10 minutes at time, so we can discuss at the time. I hope it's a fine for everyone, right? Yes. No.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, we'll just spend some time there. So now we have created some proposition, and we have added some attributes here, and we have added some values. Now let us see a basic strategy and see how do we get started with that strategy by using these propositions that we have created along with some information that is there. Okay, so for each of these propositions there is some data that is associated. So some price and some monthly EMI is there for that particular proposition. So we can create the strategies from two places. One is from the records explorer in the decision category. So the good thing is whatever we are learning in Pega decisioning, the same thing you can do it in Dev Studio also. Okay, so in Dev Studio you have all the decisioning features added in the decision category. Okay, you see here I have strategy, decision data, event strategy. All these are related to Pega decisioning. Now the same thing you can also create from CDH portal. There is no difference, like wherever you want to create you can do it from your wish. If you go to the intelligence strategies, this way also you can create it. Now what is a strategy? A strategy is a what you can say, it is like the main heart of Pega decisioning, where your entire next best action logic will be present. Okay, the strategy contains the crucial next best action logic which will decide the next best action. Okay, so the strategy will contain the logic that will decide the next best action. So depending on the requirement given by the business, you can create the appropriate strategies and you can define the next best action. Okay, so now if you go to the yeah, like I told you, right? So you can create the strategy from the Dev Studio also under the decision category. Okay, under the decision category you have the strategy. So I will create from here. So I'll go to the intelligence and here I'll just click on create. uh, Start with new canvas. So canvas is the strategy background, which where you add all the shapes. That is nothing but the strategy. Okay, that is nothing but the strategy. Now let us give it a name. So I will just call it as some first strategy, or you generally you will give the name related to what you are doing. Okay, but as we create more and more strategies, you will know what will be the strategy name. So for now, I am giving it as first strategy. Then here we need to give the class name, which is our customer class. By default, this class will come. So what is this class is from the campaign. So first of all, what is a campaign? Campaign is the place where you actually start sending the interactions to the customer. Okay, like emails, SMS, push notifications, all those things will be sent from the campaign. Okay, all those things will be sent from the campaign only. So the campaign will send. So I'll just write it here as possible. Okay, just an introduction. I'm not covering it right now. Campaign is the rule in Pega marketing where all outbound interactions are sent to the customer. Okay, so the campaign, whatever the strategy will tell, the campaign will send the same thing. For example, for a customer one, strategy decided. Okay, strategy decided laptop as the next best action. That's the right offer at right time to the right customer. So it decided laptop as the next best action. Campaign will send that only. Will send that only. Then through which channel also it will be decided. Okay. So that is how the campaigns and Pega marketing will work. Pega marketing will simply send whatever the strategy will tell or whatever Pega decision will tell. So now this campaign will able to pick up the strategies which are there in this class only: data dash, decision dash, customer dash, your application name. Okay, so strategy campaign will look for the strategies present in this class, present in below class. Okay, it will present in below class. It is data dash, decision dash, customer dash, your application id, your application id. Okay, your application id. So just a minute. Okay. Yeah, so we will see, like, when we learn about more about campaigns, how it works and everything, we will be seeing it. But the campaign will look for the strategies which are present in this class, and from this class you can call the strategies that are present in your customer class. So we can see that also, how do we do that. But basically this is the class where campaign will look for. Okay, from this class you will again call your customer classes and all those things. So my customer class is this one, which is ubank dash cdh dash data dash customer. Okay, see, basically if you go to your application and if you go to the data types, what is your customer class, you can see it. Okay, in my table, this is my customer class. Or if you go to the primary context also, you can see it. How do you go to the primary context, you know, right, already. So which is app studio, then you have to go to the settings and context dictionary. So even if you go here also, you can see what is your primary class name or what is your customer class name, you will see it there. In that class you will be creating the uh, strategies. Okay, so now here I need to select the business issue and I will select the business group. So the thing is, based on this selection, you are defining the strategy result class. That is the reason why it is given the name as strategy result class. So I'll tell you, you will understand more. I'm just going to that only. So based on what you select here, your strategy result class will be selected, defined. That means, for example, I am creating a logic specific to credit cards group, then I will be selecting this strategy result, this issue and group. If my logic is common for all the issues and all the groups, then you can select none and none like this. But if it is something specific to collections, for example, my business has decided whichever customers have paid their debt, then those customers has to be what you say, like, added to some other or they need to be sending some other email to those customers. That is my logic. So that is specific to this specific group, right? So you will be creating the strategy for this issue and this group. But there is some logic that is not specific to any issue and any group, then you can keep it none. Okay, so now I will tell you what is the difference that happens whenever you select or whenever you don't select. For example, I am selecting uh, none and I'm clicking on create and open. Okay, so we'll see. Okay, we'll understand what is the difference in that selection. So okay, now this is my strategy canvas. This is my strategy canvas where I can add all the strategy shapes in order to define my decisioning logic. Okay, in order to define my decisioning logic, I will add the strategy shapes into this canvas. I can add the shapes. You can call it components. Generally, we call this as components. So in process flow and there, right, you will call it as shape, but here we call it as components. So we can add the components by clicking on this plus icon and selecting the component and adding it. If you don't want, you can right click and delete. You can also add the component to the strategy canvas by right clicking, and this way also you can add it. Whichever is comfortable way for you, you can add it that way. Okay, by default there is a component will be there, results component will be there, which will store the final output. Okay, so the results component will store the final output. And just like how you have the uh, zoom magnifier, like the mini map, here also we have the mini map here, where you can expand, where you can browse through the strategy shapes in the case if it is very big, right? Same like in process flow, if you have more and more components, you can just browse and make it, right? Same way here also. Now let us add the component that we want to discuss today, that is the proposition data. So I'm to plus shape, import proposition data. Again, here also, like from here also you can do like which is comfortable for you, you can do it from there. Okay, right click and you can do like this also, or you can do from plus shape. Now what I did, I just clicked on import proposition data and I clicked outside. So then when I double click on this, I can see the option to define whatever the issue that I want. Okay, only active proposition with define started will be imported in globally up, so that you can ignore, we'll come to that later. So I'm saying here we can select the propositions from any of these groups, because while creating the strategy we did not restrict the strategy result to a specific class. See, the reason why it is called strategy result class also because of this reason only. While creating the strategy, we did not select the particular issue and particular group. We just selected none. That means I have the flexibility to use the propositions from all these classes. Just a minute, I'll keep charging.
So what if we select one of the business group at the before creating a strategy, then only that particular proposition group will be available here, right?
Right. Yeah, I'll show you that also. Correct.
Mm.
Yeah. So since we did not select anything, that is the reason we are able to select the groups, any issues, like for example, I select grow, and in that grow, whatever groups I have, I can select any of the group, and in that group, whatever propositions are there, I can select any one of the proposition, or I can also select all propositions. You see, I am selecting grow. In that, I have credit cards group is there. In that credit cards group, I have these three. If I want to import only one, I can import only one. If I want to import all, I can import all of them. So there is no restriction here since we selected none. But now, for example, I will select uh, a specific group or a specific issue. Again, same thing. If you select only the issue in the strategy result, you can select any of these groups. Okay, you can select any of these groups. Either you can select credit cards, deposit accounts, mortgage. That means I can use the propositions from all these groups because we are not restricting and we are creating it. But when you are restricting the group also, then your result will be restricted only to this class. Okay. So I will say here first strategy, and I will give my customer class, which is this class. Okay. Now I just click on create and open. So then I click on the plus button, import proposition data. I added the proposition data, double click on this. So now the grow and credit cards both are disabled. Once you define the strategy scope, that is the issue and group, you cannot change it again. You have to either create a new strategy or you have to do it in a separate strategy, like that only you have to do. So once the strategy, the result has been defined, you cannot change it. Okay, so it is very important that when you create the strategy itself, you define whether you are creating for all the issues and all the groups, or whether this logic is specific to some particular group. All these things you have to keep in mind as a decisioning consultant. Okay, so now my logic is specific to credit cards, so that's why I have selected these two options while creating and I have submitted. Now I can import all of them or I can import any one of them also. Okay, any one of them means I just select that and I can import it. That also I can do. If I want all of them, I'll import all of them.
And Ravi, over here in the proposition data, when you're
Uh,
importing a specific a specific proposition, what does it mean in theory? I mean, over here, if you select standard card,
so that means it means that so you are importing a standard card. That means there is some logic that you want to apply only for this proposition. Okay, that means for example you have three credit cards are there: standard card, visa card, mastercard. But my logic is specific to standard card only. I have to create that logic. Okay, just we have
okay,
imported it, then we have to do the further logic creation.
okay.
Okay, yeah. So as of now I'm just going with only one. We'll see how to do it with one individual also. How do we do that also, we'll be seeing it. So as we just get started, so I'm just showing it with all of them. Now you need to connect this component from here to here, then you need to you can save it. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm just clicking on this component and I'm connecting from here, just like how you do in your process flow. Okay, in process flow you add the shapes and you connect the connectors, right? Same way here also I'm doing it. Now just a basic simple one component strategy which I have added. Now along with this I have a few modes as well here. So we have seen this mini map. That means if you are having so many components in the strategy, you can actually move around this and try to configure them. That we already know. Along with this, we have some other mode that is called as pan mode. Right now, we are in select mode. We also have something called pan mode. So when I'm on select mode, I can select the components like this and I can open that. But when I'm in pan mode, I have to use it for moving the strategy canvas. Okay, like you can see, I can move the canvas up and down, and I can do, that's what I can do, because I need to go to the right side, I need to go to the left side. So all these things I can take care by using this pan mode. Okay, that's what I can do. And also I can open the components also with the pan mode. But with select mode, I cannot move the canvas top or down. This is used only for selection like this. Okay, by using pan mode only we can move the canvas up and down, left and right like this. Along with that you can also select with pan mode also. Okay, so that is this pan mode. Next thing, see, I'm just covering very basic components today. In the coming sessions we'll see some advanced components and using some scenarios and all that. So
So, Ravi, I have a question before we continue on the strategy rule. So, basically, strategy rule on the overall, I would like to understand that is being used to filter out some of the proportions, right? And to give the best
filter,
proportion out of it.
correct, filter out, yes, and filter out and give the best proposition, which is the next best action.
Okay. So, in that case, if we import only one proportion, then what is the use of strategy there?
Yeah, we don't do that. We
Oh,
don't
okay,
do
okay.
that. uh,
Okay,
Generally in most of the scenarios we don't do that. Okay.
okay, right. Got it, got it.
Yeah. Okay, so now we have added this thing. Now we can also add a very good practice, that is nothing but the annotation. So what I have done is I just right click annotation. I clicked on annotation. So these annotations are optional. That means it's not important, but it is a good practice that you can say. So this is like a comments, right? In your activity, you will write a comment for each and every step, right? You write the description of each and every step. Same way in data transform also, you have a comment step is there where you will write what you are doing. Same way, it is very good practice that whatever you are doing, you can write the annotation here, so that other people who are working on the strategy, they can understand what you have done. So just I'll double click and I'll say that imported the credit card propositions. Okay, imported the credit card propositions. That's what I do. That's what I'm writing here. Okay, so like same way you can add how many you want. You can add it, right click annotation, and you can add it. This is not a mandatory field, or this is not a not part of your execution. This is not part of your execution. This, the only purpose of this is to provide some information to other people. Whenever there is some complex logic, or then whenever there are some complex components added, then it is better to give some annotations so that other people will understand what you are doing. Just a good practice, not mandatory or not part of your execution. Clear till here? Any questions on this, whatever we discussed till strategies here? So like I told, if you have questions related to previous topics, let us discuss at the end of the session. Anything related to what we are doing, any questions, let me know. Okay, so if no questions, then now what we have done, we just added one component and we have imported all propositions. How do I run a strategy? So very important question. This is important question for an interview perspective also. So please note that one. I mean, if you join as a junior CDH person or a senior CDH consultant, definitely there will be a question how to run a strategy. What is the procedure to run the strategy? So whenever you create a strategy, once you added the defined logic, in order to run the strategy, you have to click on this uh, arrow mark, which is the toggle panel, you can say, or if you don't want to say, that is also fine. You can just say there will be an arrow mark. You need to click on that left arrow. Then you have options to execute the strategy. So there are two ways to execute a strategy. One is using single case, second is through batch run. Single case means, so again, remember, case in Pega decisioning means a customer. Okay, so very important, don't get confused. Case in Pega decisioning is nothing but customer. When I say a single case, multiple cases, that means single customer, multiple customer. So there are two options. One is to run with a single customer, and you can also run with multiple customers. Single case means running the strategy with a single customer. Batch, that is nothing but running this strategy with multiple customers. See, every time you run the strategy against the audience. Okay, the reason why it is called case means, again, it will be different audience, right? Sometimes instead of customer, see, like I told, 80 to 90% of projects will have customers as the primary context. Okay, then you will also have other context also, like leads, or let us say some other audience, right? Social media followers, any kind of audience. Since it cannot be called as customer, because sometimes you will use some lead as the audience, you cannot call it as a customer, right? So that is the reason generic name they have given as case. So when I say case, it is nothing but the primary context on which you are running. Most of the time it will be customer. So it is a single customer or multiple customers. Through them only you will run. Every time you will run the strategy towards the audience. Like for example, you will pass some 10 customers. For 10 customers, what offers we are getting. For one customer, what offer we are getting. Like that you will be running it. So as of now, I am not passing any customer information. Without that also I can run. That means you are running the strategy without any customer information. When do you do that? When there is no customer related operations are there, then you will be doing it. So I did not hard code, or I did not run through any customer right now. So this is where the persona comes into picture. So don't get confused, or if I'm going fast, so let me know, or if you want me to repeat also, let me know. So in the
Sir,
previous session
case means,
also, huh? Yeah, tell me.
sir, case means you said that like customer. So
Not
is
customer.
it
So
like,
I'm saying this is a primary context. Like what is the primary context that
oh,
you have kept, right? So that is the case. And generally, you can also have a different primary context. But in all the projects that I have worked, most of the time the primary context will be customers. Okay, so that's the reason.
got
Just I told case is nothing but customer, but it is actually the primary context that you have configured. Okay, easily you can assume you will also have primary context as customers. So that is the reason I'm telling a case is nothing but like a customer, and cases means customers. Okay, yeah. Okay, I hope that's clear. Let me know any other questions. So now I am right now not running through any customer, because I'm not comparing anything with customer. That means, for example, I did not keep anywhere some logic like, if the customer's income is above 10 lakhs, you offer standard card. If the customer income is less than 10 lakhs, you offer rewards card. Nothing. I did not do anything like that. Just I have executed. That's the reason you can do that way also. Without any customer also you can execute it. So what I did, I came here and I clicked on save and run. That is what I have done. Then in the strategy output, this is where you see the strategy output. That is the strategy results. Total how many propositions I have? I have three propositions: standard card, Visa card, Mastercard. These three things are there. So that is the reason in the results also I am getting three results. I'm getting three results. First one is standard card, second one is Visa card, third one is MasterCard. I'm getting three results here. Okay, that is how you see the output, and that is how you execute the strategy. So you have to simply say the same thing, that you need to click on this toggle icon, then you can run the strategy with two things, that is single case and batch. If you run the strategy with single case, that means you are executing towards single customer. Batch means you are executing the strategy towards multiple customers. Okay, so that is how you need to mention, like how do you execute the strategy. Any questions still here?
Yeah, Ravi, I mean, just now you mentioned this is where persona comes into picture. So,
Right, we'll come to that. I'll just about to show that only.
One question, Ravi. Like we ran it for a single case, the result structure coming like a proposition and proposition data. So what if we run in a batch mode? How the data structure is going to be for the results?
uh, Batch mode, okay, yeah, results will be like this only. Here only it will be coming.
It's like
Okay.
all these three sets of results per customer.
Right, same.
Will it comes like customer one and all
No,
three
no, it
results
will not
customer
come,
two?
it will not come per customer. So it will be showing like a percentage, like how many customers got how many offers, like that. Okay.
Oh,
So batch is associated to some other concept called simulation. There
mm,
you will actually see, okay, 50% customers got standard card, 30% got rewards card, like that you will be seeing the percentage there.
okay.
Okay, yeah, yeah, we'll discuss and we'll see cover that also. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
uh,
yeah. So now this is how you see it, and I believe there will be a temporary clipboard page that will be there only for temporary thread. Okay, and then it will be deleted. Let me check that name. Actually, it's okay. So I'll just type here Mastercard. Okay, so you see this is where you see, okay, page first strategy result, that name will be like this. Okay, if you see here I have what is it, yeah, this is the one, page first strategy result. That means this page will be created on the fly. This page will be created on the fly, and it will be with your strategy name, not with first strategy. Since my strategy name is first strategy, that's why it is showing the first strategy underscore result. But if your strategy name is something else, that name will be displayed. So just you can search the clipboard with your strategy name, then you can see the page name where it will be present. And this is a temporary page. This is a temporary page just to see like what is getting stored in clipboard, but it will not be persisted because you are not defining where to store it, right? So we will see how to store the strategy results into the clipboard. All those things we will be seeing it. But this is a temporary page that will be removed once you close this strategy and once you delete it. Okay, it will be removed then. So we have a separate steps how to persist the information coming from the strategy into a table or some other place. Okay, that also we will be seeing it.
I mean,
Now coming
Ravi,
to the, yeah,
What is the purpose of clipboard viewer?
no, just to see the clipboard. There is no purpose right now. Okay, there is no
Okay,
purpose because just to understand what all data is coming, right? So for example,
okay.
you are running the strategy, you are getting some output, whether all these fields are coming in the clipboard or not. Some other field might be missing, or you want to know which all fields are coming and where it is coming, like that. If you want to see, that's it. No
Okay.
other purpose. To store to the clipboard, there is a separate procedure is there, we'll see at the time. Okay, yeah.
I have one more query. Uh,
Huh.
if we can use the actions button, there we can run the strategy. So what is the difference by using the arrow mark?
This is unit testing. Okay, this is, so this is, for example, you want to run the strategy with a case, you will use this thing. Okay, for example,
Okay.
you are using some logic related to some case. Okay, you can do it using this procedure. Generally you
Okay.
don't run the strategy like this, it will not give you any results basically. Okay,
Okay.
because
Okay.
if you run with the what you say, the Pega case is there, right? In Pega BPM you have the cases, right? So if you want to run with some case, then you will use this. For that, you have to open the case in a separate thread, and you have to open the peer work page, and then you have to test it. But generally, you don't run the strategy with a case. You will run with a customer. Okay, you'll run the strategy with the customer, because your Pega BPM application is a separate application, and your Pega decisioning application is a separate application. Both are different applications. So your cases are present in BPM application, and your decisioning application don't have any cases. It will have customers. So you will always run like this only.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so now let us import a specific proposition. What I am doing is I am importing a specific proposition, that is standard card. I am calling this as standard card. Then let us add one more proposition data. Let us say I will add here as Visa card. Okay, I'm adding here as Visa card. Now let us see another component. So what I will do is I will add another component that is called filter. So filter, as the name suggests, okay, filter as the name clearly suggests, it will filter the incoming components based on the condition. Okay, filter will filter the incoming components based on certain condition. So I'll just double click on this. What I will do is I'll say uh, uh, display offers uh, with average price, arbitrage display offers with high average price, something like this. Okay, I'm just giving
Sir,
something
could
like
you
this.
once again say the what does filter do?
Yeah, so filter is just like how you add a filter in your real time, right? Filter means what? Whatever the incoming components are there, out of these incoming components, let us say I need to filter some of them and I need to remove some of them, whichever not satisfy the condition, then you will add a filter. Okay, so like I have two components right now, not only proposition, there are any components which are connected to filter. Out of these two components, which component will satisfy the filter condition, that will only be selected, the remaining one will be removed. That's what the filter will do, right? So for example, if you are doing a tea, you will keep a filter, right? And the filter will remove the purities and it will impurities, and it will only filter the tea powder, right? So the same way here also, whatever the things that doesn't satisfy the condition, filter condition, it will not be coming in the output. That is what the filter will do. So what I'm doing
Got
here
it.
is I'm saying filter by high average price. Then what I will do is I'll just say dot. So you can see here my SR class is what? SR class is CDH dash SR dash grow dash credit cards, because while creating the strategy itself you have defined by selecting grow and credit cards. So this is automatically coming now, because that is how you have defined the SR class. While creating itself, we will define what is the strategy result class. For example, you don't select anything, then you will see the class name as CDH-SR. Okay, you will see the class name as CDH-SR. But our properties are present in credit cards, so you cannot select from the parent to the child, right? You cannot do that. So that is the reason it is very important that when you are doing something in the strategy, whether the logic is specific to credit cards or whether it is having the logic for other groups also, based on that only you have to decide what is the strategy result. So once you select, you cannot again change it. Either you have to delete and you have to create a new strategy, like that only you have to do. There is no other option. Okay, so now what I'm doing, I'm just saying dot average price, let's say greater than some 100.
This is what
That's
you are
what
saying. Even when we define in the section, we need to define in the form. That's why it is
right,
picking up.
correct. So
Okay.
if you are not keeping in the form tab, then these properties will not come. Okay, these properties will not come. Okay, so that is important that you add the properties in the form tab also. Yeah, so I'm just saying average price greater than 100, and you can see there is another tab called source component. Source component is nothing but what all incoming components connected to this component. So to filter, I connected two components, standard card and Visa card. Here I can see all the incoming components as well as the order through which the data is coming. That means first I will get the information from standard card, then I will get the information from Visa card. That is how the order is there. For example, if you want to get the Visa card first, then standard card, then you have to manage the order. Okay, just it will show you the incoming component. That's it, nothing else. The source components. So I'm just saying average price greater than 100. Then I'm just saving this. Now if I come here and if I click on save and run, so I can see there are only two components, two results coming in the output. So the first one is standard card, second one is Visa card. Okay, so only two things are coming, and you can see here when you go here, I can see average price is 6,000, and for this average price is 8,000. I think for one more, we have added a very less average price, less than 100 we have added. That is the reason it is not coming. Okay, that is the reason it is not coming. Okay, so that is how you define a basic, very simple logic which we have seen today. Okay, just we added some two propositions, and whichever is having more average price, we are displaying that. Now for example, very important thing in strategy is, or very main consideration that you have to do here is, you cannot trace. For example, I am expecting four results, or for example I'm expecting three results, but I got only two results. Okay, I'm expecting three results, but I got only two results. How do I trace? See, in our activity data transform, you can trace it. You can trace it most of the time and find out where exactly the issue is, and you can modify that, right? But how do I trace a strategy? You cannot do that. Okay, so the strategy components will not come in the tracer. Very important, remember this thing. You cannot trace a strategy, and you cannot see the individual component output. Maybe you can see the overall output, but you cannot see the individual component, like where it is causing the issue. This will not come in the tracer. Now how do I debug is, the strategy has given us an option to debug by clicking on the component. That means the thing is, the advantage here is, regardless of how many components that you add. For example, I added 100 components, or I added 20-30 components. If you click on the component, you will see what is the output at that particular component. Okay, that's what that's what you can see here. I can see here the output is standard card, here the output is Visa card, here the output is only two results. That means this is where the filtering is happening at this particular component. Okay, that means at each and every component level, what output is there, that also you can see in the strategy. So that is how you debug. Because I have added some 10 components to the strategy, and I don't know where the issue is. So you need to click on each and every component, and you need to see what is the output at that particular component. That way you can see, okay, in the previous component there are three results. When I clicked on this component, there are two results. That means something issue with this component, like that you have to debug. Okay, like that you have to debug, because
But
at
but in
each
real,
component you can see what is output. Yeah.
so, Ravi, like in real-time projects, like if we have like 1,000 propositions, so this thing will not be effective, right? So how can we actively troubleshoot in the real-time projects?
1,000 propositions you don't have. No one will have 1,000 propositions. That is not.
Okay,
Yeah, even you will have hundreds also is more only. Generally you
okay.
will have in tens, like 40s, 50s, like that you will have. And the thing is, you are in the proposition when you are doing, right, you will
Mm,
you will import all of them, right? There is nothing to debug here. But in the
yeah.
subsidiary components that are there, so for
Mm.
example, I am just clicking here and I am expanding. Then what I will do, I will add one more component which is not going to do anything apart from property set. So like this you have to connect. Okay, same like how you do in a process flow. The connectors and everything is same only. So if I run it now, Okay, if I run it now, I click on this set property. Okay, I click on the set property. Yeah, I just click on the set property. Yeah, you can see there are two are there, right? There are two are there. And when I click on this, okay, let us do one thing. We'll make it more simple for you. Instead of this way, I'm just adding all the propositions. See, right now we have imported only two, right? That is the reason every time we are seeing only two, right? We imported one standard card and one visa card. So we have imported only two. That's the reason we are only seeing two every time. Now what I'm doing, I'm importing all of them. That means I have three propositions. Okay, I have three here. Now you see in the first component I have three results, right? Then in the second component I have three results. You see I have three results. I clicked on this. In the third component, okay, so here I think why it is not coming. Okay, did we what did we do? Let us check. Okay, first one 6,000 average price, 6,000, 8,000, and we have 500. So what we have given, yeah, greater than 500 we have given it. So we'll do one thing, we'll just say 700. Okay, we'll say 700 because third one is having average price as 500. So now I am running it once again. Now in my final output there are only two. Now if you see here, I'm clicking on the first one, there are three results. Second one, there are three results. Third one, when I'm selecting, there are only two. Okay, so that is where maybe if you are expecting something else, that is how you debug. You click on each and every component and you see, okay, this is where some output is getting filtered out. Not only the number of results, you can also see the output also. Like some property you are expecting some value, but that now that value is not coming. You have to click the component and you have to see where it is changing. That is how you debug. Okay, yeah, so that's how we debug. Okay, so any questions till here, like till here at least?
I have a
Sir,
question.
previously we had two propositions, and there you said that in the filter condition, if you want to change the order, then we can change it. So is it like that? Changing the order means that
Changing
just
order means nothing. See,
interchanging.
just interchanging. Yeah, interchanging the components. You keep that component
Place.
above
Okay.
and below. That's it.
Okay.
Ideally,
Okay.
whatever component is on the top, that will be the first incoming component. Whatever is below that, that will be the second incoming component. Okay.
But does
So
it
I'm
make a
expecting.
difference?
um, it makes a difference during some scenarios, right? For so right now this is a basic example, but some scenarios you
Okay.
expect some component data should come first. For example, you are doing some calculation. First you need to get another output, then you need to calculate based on that. So if you are sending something else and if you are calculating, the entire formula will go wrong, right? So like that, in that
Mhm.
scenarios, yeah,
Okay.
that scenarios we
Okay.
need.
Okay.
Yeah. Now we will see set property also, and we'll close this session. Okay, so what I'm doing is set property is very straightforward. It is used to set the property value. That's it. So simply what I'm saying, I'll say dot. For example, I will say monthly EMI for all of them. I will hard code it to some thousand. Okay, so I'm just hard coding monthly EMI to 1,000. I'm not doing for any specific proposition. I'm doing it for only all the propositions. So it is used to set the property values of two classes. One is you can select the, see, basically two things. Very important thing to remember again. I can only use two class properties here. Even though I have base and classes, I cannot do that. The only thing is I can use I can use only two property classes from strategy. One is whatever the properties are there in the applies to class, that is this customer class, those properties I can use in the strategy. Second thing is I can use the properties that are there in the SR class. SR class means whatever the properties that are there in the proposition data that you created. So only properties from these two classes can be used in the strategy. We should not use the other one, or we cannot use also. Okay. For example, I want to use a property that is present in a data class. You have to import that property and you have to set it to SR class again. So that is the important thing, that you can use properties only from applies to class and the SR class. If you want to use from PY work page or something, you have to import that data and you have to set to SR class properties. Then you have to use the SR class properties. Okay, see again we have a
Ravi,
separate topic for that.
yeah,
We'll see in that.
for non-inherited classes, we have this pages and classes, right, in here in
Right,
the
but
strategy window.
we
So
cannot
can
use that.
we
No,
can't
we
use
cannot
it?
use it. Yeah, we can't use it.
Okay.
That means, see again, you can import the data using data import is there. You can import the data from any class, any table. You can do that. Like from data page also you can import. But once you import the data, you have to map it to SR class properties. For example, I'm importing a property called customer ID. Then I have to create a customer ID class, a customer ID property in the SR class or customer class. Then I have to map it to that. Okay. So yeah, we'll
Okay.
see that again. We have a separate topic for that. We'll see in that scenario. Okay. So now if you see here, I have monthly EMI set to 1000 for this one, and for the second result also monthly EMI is 1000, and for the third result also monthly EMI is 1000. So that is what the set property will do. The set property will set the property value, or if it is already having a value, it will override that. That is what the set property will do, nothing else. Okay, yeah, just all these basic components we are seeing. In the coming sessions we'll see some scenarios, or we'll take some examples also. Once we are done with the components, we will take some examples. Okay, that is how the course is defined. Okay, any questions till here, whatever we have seen today? Otherwise we can discuss the other topics which covered in the previous
Yeah, Ravi, I
sessions.
have a question. Over here,
Yeah.
what does it mean by you're defining the first strategy in the class CDH customer data?
What is it? I didn't get you.
I mean, you're creating the first strategy
Huh.
with with the class of CDH data customer, right?
Right.
Yeah. So what does it mean?
So it is actually the logic that is defined by the business, which I am keeping it in the customer class. So generally, like I told you, right, there is a logic for a customers. For example, business is giving a scenario where customers with age above 40 should be receiving some particular product. Customers with age below 40 should be receiving some other product. So I need to create the strategy in my customer class with the logic that I want to keep. Okay. So this is actually my primary audience. I am
Okay.
assuming that there is some logic for this audience, so that's the reason I'm creating it in the customer class. Most of the time, you will always create strategies in customer class only.
Okay.
Like creating any rule like property or anything in the Pega PRPC, like creating a strategy in this particular class.
Correct. In particular class. So that means you will be getting the scenario. Okay, like they will say for customers, I have to perform this logic. So customers with above age 40, they should be getting a very costly products. Some scenario like that. So based on that scenario, you are creating a logic based on that scenario. That's what we are doing here. Okay. Yeah.
Does major of the time strategies are created in the same class or it varies?
So major of the time in customer class only. Yes.
Okay.
But again, in order to execute this strategy, you will call it in a separate strategies and separate data flows are there. We'll come to know there. But our main logic, you will keep it in customer class.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Any other questions till where we
Yeah,
have seen?
with respect to a single case and batch, I have a
Uh,
question. So, yeah, so basically, what is the use of like running the strategy for a single case? Like,
this is
because
only
in
for
real time,
testing purpose. Whatever we are doing here is testing purpose.
okay, but in
Okay. See,
production, I don't think
uh,
we use this.
we don't do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Because this is how you can test it. How do you test it? Whether, for example, I am saying here, let us say instead of this one, I'll say customer dot age. Okay, directly you can use the customer page in any strategy. You can use it directly. I'm saying customer dot age greater than 40. That means only for the customers with age above 40 should receive the credit cards. Okay, customers age below 40 will not receive any credit cards. That is my condition which I am keeping. Now I want to test it whether it is working as expected, right? I'll keep something, but I have to create some unit testing document, or I need to create some test cases, right? So for that you will use this persona. This is where you create the persona. Okay, I will see it in the tomorrow session specifically, like how do I create a persona and how do I test this strategy. But this is only for testing purpose. So I'll create a customer data with some age like 55, 100, something like that. Then I will execute the strategy and see whether the customer with age 55 is getting the credit cards or not. Same way, I'll keep the customer age equal to 25. Then I will run the strategy and see that no results should come for customer with age 25, because we kept the condition age should be greater than 40. So like that you have to test the positive and negative scenarios using the persona.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see that tomorrow.
Ravi,
Is customer data
The
will be
age
available in,
property.
sorry,
What is
Go
it?
ahead.
yeah, Ravi,
customer data will be available in customer class in Pega
Which
data,
one? In
I
actual
Pega
think
data
actual
only.
customer data is,
Right. In Pega data only it will be created.
okay. Is there any connection between main application customer data and this CDH customer data, or do we need to import, or how to create these
You can,
records?
generally most of the time it will be like that only. Your BPM application customers might be the same customers for Pega decisioning also. Okay, most of the time it will be like that only. For example, you are creating a portal for your customers. The same customers might be used for your Pega decisioning also. But the very important thing to remember here is business will not provide you the customer information. All this is a sample customer information. Whatever you see in the customer table in lower environments, that is only a sample information or a mock data which will mimic the original data, because no one will provide you the customer information which is very sensitive. Okay.
Okay.
so. The same data types is going to be exposed here in the CDH also, whatever there in that
Yes,
case.
yes.
Okay.
Expose tables, yes.
Okay. So the
Customer
age
table.
property which you selected right here, that we did not create it in the farm, right? So how we
It
are
is already there.
getting it?
Actually, it is already there. So this is exercise system again. Remember. So in real time project, you have to create all these things manually, customer tables and all those.
But we
But
did
since
not
this
added
exercise,
this age into the farm, right?
now this customer class, you don't need to add customer properties in form. Form tab will have only SR class properties. See, form tab is for the properties related to propositions, not for customer. So again, don't confuse between this properties and that properties. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
See, is whatever attributes specific to the proposition, like the color of the laptop or price of that, what is the EMI of that, specific to the proposition, that only you will add it in the form tab. Okay, specific to this group, specific to these propositions. Customer properties are again separate table and separate properties, which you don't need to add here. Okay, yeah. So this is my customer table. In your real-time projects, you have to create all these things manually, or your LSA will create it and give it for you. Since this is exercise system already,
Customer,
yeah.
customer and context both are same, right?
No,
Primary
customer
context,
is
secondary
part of
context,
the context dictionary. Customer is part of the context dictionary,
part of the context. Okay.
right? So you see, this is all the columns which I have. In this, I have age also. I have annual income, age, all these things are there. All these fields are there. But in real-time
So this
project, you
was
have to
considered
import this
as
data. Hmm?
associated data for the context.
Right. For associated data also we have, right? So you are asking how to configure, or will it have what you are asking?
No, the customer records, what we have here, is it
Uh-huh.
the associated data for the context?
Yeah, that is a separate table. Associated data is always separate table, right? So right now, in my context dictionary, for customer, I have three associated data: account join, click stream, product scores. These three are the associated data. But that is again a separate table. That information will not be in the customer table, right? That will be in a separate table. So you can see this is the association rule, and that is a separate table again. So what is the table means this is the table name. But the only thing is for association to be satisfied is there should be one common column. So this is a table. Accounts is a table. I think this is the one maybe. Yeah. So customer table is associated with accounts table using a common column called this customer ID. I believe maybe the customer ID might be the common column. You see accounts table. This is the one. So this is the associated data of customers. So again, this is separate table, separate columns. Everything is separate. You see, right? Now you see here customer ID equal to accounts join dot customer ID. So there is a common column is there here also, which is the customer ID. You see here also customer ID is there. Using this common column, the join is made. And for each customer, whatever information is there, for example, for customer ID 10003, you can see what is the credit card number, what is the balance he's having, what is the credit card type, Visa card, MasterCard. All this information is there in the associated data. That's what I told you, right? For every audience, whatever associated data will be there, like what product he purchased, when he has purchased, what is the price of the product. Okay, all these things will be there in the associated data table. That is what we have for this customer ID, which is 10003, which is also there in this table also. For that customer ID, all this information is there. This is the account number of the customer, and this is the balance in his bank account. This much balance is there, like this information is there. But make sure that this is not a real information. This is, you will not be getting it in your real-time project also. Everything will be masked, or this information will not be given to you. Just for our
This is nothing but associated context for primary context.
the associated data, you can call it associated data for the primary context.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in case if you have other tables like order table, so in that
Hmm.
case it will be associated with the account or it will be associated with the customer.
It will be associated with the customer, right? Customers, these are all associations to customer, right? Customer will have some products, customer will have some bank accounts, customer will have some credit cards. So all the things will be associated to customer table. Okay, you can have multiple associated data. Just you need to create a association rule, and you have to associate the table to the main table, that is the customer table.
The
Understood?
hands
Yeah.
practice going forward about this creating of
Sorry, please
context
be
dictionary.
loud. I am not able to hear.
Like will you show the practical implementation about this context dictionary and in the going forward
Yeah. So
process.
we'll do that. Anyways, I think we are out of time. I'm just stopping the record.
This
I'll cover it
conference
tomorrow
will
when we
now
meet
be
probably.
recorded.
So if you go to the strategies, by default, in every strategy, you will have the customer page present in every strategy. Okay, because since you defined it in the primary context, from the primary context, every strategy will be able to take the customer information from this class only. Okay, so simply you have to say customer dot. Wherever you want to do, you have to simply say customer dot. So when you say customer dot, it will directly take to the customer page. So this customer page will always be there in all the strategies. Okay, and this customer page will be pointed to the class which is your primary context. To that only it will be pointing. And the thing is, why we are giving directly means, always remember whatever the previous component is there, right? So whatever is the previous component to which it is connected, that class context will be the next class context also. So that is the reason when I'm clicking on dot, directly I'm getting the SR thing. Okay, directly I'm getting the SR thing. And by default, SR class is what you will be using in strategy. That's what I told, right? You can use the properties only from two places. One is the SR class, second is from customer class. So by default, when you say dot, it will take from SR class only. Okay, because that is how the strategy is defined. You have defined the strategy to take the information from this issue and this group. That is the reason when you say dot, it will always take from strategy class only. And when you want the data from customer class, you have to simply say customer dot. Okay, you have to simply say customer dot. One more thing is, if you are, for example, in worst case you are creating the strategy in some other class, then you can do primary dot also. Okay, then you can do primary dot. So all these pages will be populated by default in every strategy. Okay, that's the customer class, customer page. Even if you define or if you don't define also, this customer page will always be there. Okay, you just remember that and you can proceed. Anyways, we'll understand more about this in the coming sessions. We'll discuss on that. Okay,
Sure.
you
Thank
just
you.
remind me. We'll discuss more about that in the session.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we are already out of time, so thank you guys. So yeah, see you all tomorrow.
Thank you.